And welcome friends to another edition of Rugged Outdoors Guide here on YouTube. My name is Pete and this is my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my canoe fishing setup. You guys, if you have one, it's going to be totally different than mine. But if you're just starting out, I'll show you what I have with, in my particular setup. But you have to understand that every setup is going to be dependent upon all kinds of factors. So what kind of fish are you going for? What kind of body of water are you on? Big or small? Are you wanting more than one person in the canoe? What about maybe 3 people? Right, so there's a lot of different factors. I will just show you why I have what I have, and I'm really minimalist. Believe me, I've seen a few videos in the past where some guys are really set up with their Sports Pal canoes, which are as heavy as practically a bass boat, and they need their own trailer, and man, there's a lot of stuff in there, and it's great for fishing, but I'm kind of minimalist. I like to be very modular. I like to be able to grab my stuff, throw it, on my truck, and be able to carry everything easily myself without a wagon or anything like that. So here is what I have, and I'll tell you why I have what I have. Okay, for starters, you have to understand that I have a very versatile canoe. It's a 16-foot, 50-pound Kevlar prospector canoe. And the fact that it's Kevlar means it's really light, and the fact that it's a prospector means that it's also has lots of rocker, which means it's not really that stable compared to a lot of other canoes. So because of that, I have the obvious thing you're looking at right there in the middle there. That's a set of stabilizer floats. It's from a company called Spring Creek Manufacturing, and I will have a complete review of that on our website, ruggedoutdoorsguide.com, as well as on our YouTube channel, so you can check that out. That's the Spring Creek stabilizer floats. Now these things, I can quite literally stand up in the canoe and dance around. That's how stable it makes a very unstable canoe. All right, so you can read more about that at another time. We'll get into the rest of my rig here. At the back here, you see I have my PFD, of course, and my paddle. I also have my trolling motor. It's a Minn Kota Endura, and it's a 30-pound thrust motor, which is, it's not powerful by many standards, but for my canoe, because of how light it is, it's actually a little too powerful. It has 5 speeds, and I find that even on speed 1, the lowest, it's a little bit too fast for trolling most plugs, swim baits, that kind of thing. So I actually don't do a lot of trolling as such. I spend more time just moving from place to place with the trolling motor, and then I do a lot of casting. That's just me personally. All I bring is the paddle, as I mentioned, and just a minimal tackle box. And then what I have here is a rod holder, and I'll give you more information on that down in the description below. It's just something I got from Amazon, and it's great for trolling, but I also just use it to hold my rod anyway, so I don't do tons and tons of trolling. And then all I really have beyond that is it's a Minn Kota power center box with the battery inside. And so I can, it's got a lot of bells and whistles. I can charge my phone and other, appliances or whatever I need in the boat. Again, we have another review on that on our website and on our blog, so you can check that out. And guys, really, that is about it. So there's my battery, there's the stabilizers, and I usually bring 2 rods with me, but there you see one in my rod holder right there, and of course a paddle for obvious reasons. Battery dies on the motor, or I'm just sort of finessing my movements around shore. I don't use the motor. And I can bring a tackle box or 2, and of course life jacket. And then of course what I neglected to bring right now, because I'm close to my camp, is my what is it called, the emergency boat kit, which is just a float and a whistle. So that's always a good thing to have. Do not forget to bring that if you want to be a responsible angler. One other thing I'll mention just in closing here is, if you look carefully right there on the side of the boat, that's kind of protecting the canoe, the gel coat on the Kevlar, is just some really thin wood. It's press board very thin, it's like a 1/4 inch. And I have one on both sides. So there's one there, and you can see the one on the inside there. And those are simply to protect the canoe itself, or the gel coat, the Kevlar, from the clamps on the rod holder. So that's it, guys. That is the total sum of my fishing setup on my canoe, and it is extremely effective. I don't need a fish finder. I don't need a lot of other sort of bells and whistles that some people have. I got no problem with that, except I just don't like heavy, weighty stuff. So this is all that I use, and I just like the fact that I can stand up, I can turn around, I can walk around in my canoe with the stabilizers. And I know you can do that with some of the bigger canoes, like a Sports Pal that is meant for this purpose, but then you can't really take a Sports Pal portaging over, you know, 5 kilometers of portages on a 60-kilometer canoe trip in the wilderness, right? So I have a little more versatility here, but as a result I have to pay a little more for these stabilizers. All right, guys, so that is what I have for you today. I hope that's been helpful for some of you who might be considering a canoe fishing rig. And if you like what I had to say here today, if you like this information, please do give us a like and a subscribe. But if you don't, that is okay too. I just appreciate you stopping by and checking me out today. I know that there's thousands of other channels you could have checked out. I will continue to make videos that are hopefully helpful for you. All right, guys, please do check us out when you get a chance in the future. I will make videos probably at least once a week, I'm hoping. And please, guys, until you see my next video, which should be very soon, get out there, enjoy God's creation. It's all around us, and keep on looking up.